All right, Johnny. So next we're getting into our main topic. And today for our main topic, we'll be talking about the box office reign of the Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Superman. What does this double hit mean for the superhero genre and DC versus Marvel?
And remember, I said it first.
You did. You
I
did.
said it
You
first.
said you had a lot of faith in Superman.
Yes.
I did not, just because of previous iterations of the character.
Yep.
So I didn't know how well it would do. I thought fans were turned off, but I guess people saw a lot of hope in this new Superman. And so people ran out to the box office to go see him, man.
Yeah, man.
Best opening since Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
for
since
DC.
Wonder Woman, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I think that they kind of, went back to what Superman was even in the comic books a little bit with this one. So, but we,
It was a very comic booky film, man.
Yeah.
I mean, very comic book. It was like, it's hard to explain, but if you ever watched like Superman, the animated series back in the day, it was a lot like watching that particular show. It was like watching the animated series come to life, man.
Yeah,
to be
man.
honest. I thought Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was great.
Yeah.
David Corenswet as Superman, I thought he did a wonderful job. And the world building that James Gunn was able to do within this universe.
Yeah.
It'll be, I can't wait to see kind of where they go next, especially with this particular character, the way they left things off. But, between that, but here's the thing though, it's between that and then also on the heels of that, you had the Fantastic Four that recently dropped, and the critical success of it has been amazing.
Yes.
To watch, especially bouncing off of previous iterations of these particular characters. It's been great, man. If you've seen my out of theater reaction, then I'm a fan of the Fantastic Four First Steps film.
Same here.
Yeah.
I had faith in it. I knew that it had a hill to climb to get there because of what the previous films had done. But again, I had faith in the Fantastic Four, and they did what the name said. They done fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a lot of talk about superhero fatigue or comic book fatigue at the box office, especially coming off of the Marvel coming off of a few films that didn't do quite that well with Captain America 4 and then with the Thunderbolts. It's been kind of like a, hit or miss since Endgame. Ever since Endgame, they kind of struggled at the box office with this next phase of films that they put out. I think it's Phase 5 they're in now.
Yeah.
Going into the next Avengers film, which is Doomsday. So what do you think about, like, as of right now, we have 2 comic book films as the number 1 and number 2 at the box office. What do you think that means? Are fans excited about this genre? Or is there even such a thing as superhero fatigue or comic book fatigue?
I think it has been in the past, fatigue, especially when you have some that didn't do so well. But now with the resurgence of these 2 films and how well they are doing in the box office, I think everybody is excited about it. There's been that talks of, trying to get away from the superhero stuff and be more realistic.
Right.
But I think that, you can never go wrong with the character of Superman. He's always been a hero. And then the Fantastic Four being the granddaddy of them all, the start of it. So I believe people are ready for it. And that's what they want to see right now.
Yeah.
It's telling you 1 and 2. It's telling you right there. That's what they want to see.
I believe that and this is with any genre, not just comic book films or anything like that, but with any genre, it all starts with storytelling.
That's right.
If you can start off by telling a great story, I think people will, like, word of mouth will travel.
Definitely.
The critics will, talk about it, but then, like, the viewers, like us, the people that go watch these films, like, we'll talk about it and other people rush to the theaters to go see it. But it starts with telling a great story. And I think specifically with the Fantastic Four film, I think they started off by telling a great story.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out, okay, like, how do you, like, because the world building, like, what Marvel has done is, like, they've created so many characters and had all of these films, and, some of it hasn't been quite as cohesive.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been able to tell, like, an individualized story.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're trying to connect everything
together.
And this was the first time that I've gone to a Marvel film and it didn't have to connect to anything because they were set in their own world.
Yeah.
And I thought that was refreshing to see.
So it was great storytelling.
Yeah, it was great storytelling.
They took
the way they were
time
able
to
to
get
tell
it right.
that story. Right.
They took the time to get it right, and it was great storytelling with this one.
Right. I thought with the Fantastic Four, I thought the family dynamic was excellent. Because a lot of people, they are Marvel's first family. That's who the Fantastic Four are. They're Marvel's first family. And I thought that the world building they were able to do, I like what they were able to do with the main villain of the film, Galactus. Silver Surfer was great.
Yeah.
Just like they brought heart to this story. And that, I think, not saying that that's something that was missing, but you didn't really get a sense of that family dynamic with previous iterations.
That's right.
But with this one, you got a real feel for it. Like, they really truly do care about each other. They are a family. They felt like a family.
Yeah.
Pedro, and I'll say this, when he was first announced as playing Reed Richards, I didn't necessarily see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Because, Reed Richards is the smartest guy in the universe.
That's right.
In Marvel Comics or whatever. And I didn't necessarily, he's a great actor. And, I'm always for, great talent. I'll choose talent over anything else.
That's right.
I just didn't see him in the role. But now, after watching the film, I can't see anybody else being Reed Richards now outside of him, because he did such an excellent job.
He did. He did a great job, man. He did a great job.
I mean, because when you watch previous Marvel films, it was Tony Stark, the smartest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Tony Stark or, Bruce Banner or Shuri or whoever. But in this particular world, Reed, they were the only heroes that I knew of. Mm-hmm. They didn't necessarily talk about any other heroes, but the Fantastic Four were the only heroes in this universe. In this
world, yeah.
And I don't think that's a spoiler. I'm sorry if you haven't seen the film. I'm not trying to spoil it. And I won't go into any spoiler details, but yeah, they were the only set of heroes in this universe. Mm-hmm. And, you really got a sense of how much they cared about each other and how the world viewed them in this particular universe. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of where they go.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely ready for the next one.
Yeah.
I'm already ready.
Yeah, I mean, because the way they set it up, you can kind of get a sense of how everything is going to connect and how they could potentially be brought into the main Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. But, it'll be interesting to see. Also with Superman, they set it up in a way that, we see what's coming next with certain characters within the DC universe. And of course, James Gunn has already discussed, Batman, doing an older version of Batman, and bringing Wonder Woman into the fold. So just what are some of your thoughts on just what Marvel is doing and what DC is doing? Do you see DC, because James Gunn is kind of trying to rewrite the ship, because we all know what happened with the previous iteration of these characters. They started off with Man of Steel, then Batman versus Superman, and I mean, that's a movie that probably should have made Avengers type numbers.
That's right,
or whatever. But it made and still very impressive numbers. 800, I think it made 800 something million at the box office. But when you say Batman versus Superman,
that should have just went through the roof.
It should have made $1 billion.
It should have went through the roof.
It should have made $1 billion easily. It should have been pushing for $2 billion.
Yeah,
up there with again Avenger numbers.
Yeah.
It should have been up there. But and then each film after that there was a slight decline. So what do you feel about this new DC universe that James Gunn is creating and kind of where they're headed?
What he's doing right now, man, is like you said, he's reinventing the wheel basically with me. So he's bringing these characters back to where they need to be. But yeah, man, so it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. What he's doing, he's really going into his knapsack and pulling out some heavy hitting things, man, and I believe it's going to be great. Everything's going to be great from now on. Yeah,
man. And I think with Marvel and DC, I think as of right now, I think they're both rooting for each other.
They are.
Because here's the thing, if Superman is successful, then and bouncing right off of that, 2 weeks later you have the Fantastic Four come out.
Yeah.
And they're successful. And I think they root for each other because it helps the
other.
It
helps the other. I mean, because you have your thing where you're a DC fan or a Marvel fan, or whatever. But I think there's those people out there that love both.
Right.
That love both, and they want to see everybody win.
Right.
And I'm that type of person. I want to see everybody win, man. So, yeah, like you're saying, I believe they are rooting for each other right now. There could be sometimes where, they have to battle each other.
Right.
But, right now, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
And I mean, honestly, the general audience probably doesn't even know the difference between the two studios.
That's true.
They just see it as a superhero movie. They don't know the difference between Marvel or DC or anything like that. They just want to go see a great film.
Yeah.
And I think that's most of us. Like even fans of Marvel and fans of DC, we want to see like whichever and I like both.
Yeah.
I'm one of those who like both DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
But you have certain sections who only like Marvel, who only like DC, and so they'll talk bad about one or the other. But, I think it's good for the genre overall when you see one film do well at the box office.
Oh, yeah. And this, for the comic book fans, this just, puts a smile on your face.
Right.
Puts a smile on your face, man.
Anyone who saw my out-of-theater reaction, they know that I definitely love the Fantastic Four. I thought Superman was great, especially I kind of seeing where they're heading. I think that this new Superman gave people hope.
Yes.
He was a Superman that really cared about people and humanity.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was a film about his humanity more so than anything else.
Yeah.
And I think James Gunn did a great job of kind of showcasing that.
Yeah.
Because one of his main things was helping and saving people.
Yeah. And
and all creatures. He didn't want to harm anything. And so a lot of times in the film, no spoilers, but he held back, and that's one thing that he did a lot in the animated series.
Yeah,
as well.
and he understands his power.
Yeah,
he understands his power, and he understands that I have to use this for good.
Right.
It's easy to be evil.
Right.
But I think it takes a little more effort to be good, and they have the ultimate person showing that, and like you said, he's showing his humanity side and helping people and making sure nobody gets hurt.
Right.
So, I think that's, James Gunn is doing a great job with that. And, Superman is Superman, bro.
Yeah. Another thing I'll say about Superman as well is when it was first announced that they were going to bring Krypto, the Superdog, into the film, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Krypto, the Superdog, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But after watching the film, made complete sense, and I love Krypto, the Superdog. Krypto, the Superdog is one of my favorites now. I love Krypto.
I'm gonna get me a super dog.
You gonna get you a super dog?
I'm gonna get me a super dog.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out, man. But going back to Fantastic Four, just the world building that they were able to do, and I always was trying to figure out how in the world are you gonna go against a character like Galactus?
Yeah,
because again, Galactus is someone who's probably beyond Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Galactus is the eater of worlds.
Yeah.
So so I'm how in the world are they gonna go against Galactus? And it's just four of them.
Yeah.
There's no Avengers, there's no X-Men, nobody else to show up to help out. But
that's why they
again, it was the storytelling, great storytelling. Again, love the dynamic of the characters. Great directing by I think it was Matt Shakman, who also directed this series WandaVision, which was a great series, by the way. Great series, man. Storytelling on that was phenomenal. But did an excellent job with directing this film, and the way that they set it up. If you stuck around and you watched the post-credit scene, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the way they set it up going forward and kind of where things are headed, going into Avengers, the new Avengers Doomsday, man, I'm really excited about that film.
Yeah, man.
Bringing everybody into the we still don't know how they're gonna bring them together. I mean, we can speculate, but we still don't know how exactly they're gonna bring them in.
Oh yeah. But man, just gotta wait and see.
I guess we do, man. I guess we do. So those are our thoughts on, the reign of both Superman and the Fantastic Four at the box office. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the films? Are you excited to see more from both Marvel and DC?
I know I am.
Same here, man. So, again, share your thoughts in the comment section or send us an email.